Hello and welcome. I hope you enjoy watching my process. Today, I'm decorating Haku and Chihiro cookies. I'm starting this cookie design by outlining everything for my base flood of my background that the two characters will be on top of. Now going into this design, I knew that I wanted to have them in one of their more iconic poses, and to also have them be against a starry night backdrop. Well, I planned for the stars to be in the sky, but that didn't pan out. You know, now that I think about it, I should have used glitter clusters for the stars. Maybe next time, I'll try that if I ever do this design again from Spirited Away. I decided to use the color navy blue for the night sky. Plus, by only using a little bit of the gel color, I can use a pastel shade of navy blue for the clouds. For this, I wanted to add something else into the sky, so I went with these splashes of color. I even put them in places that I'll be covering up. I went with white icing for the stars, but as you can see, I hated how it looked, so I just scribbled it away and blended it more into whips for the background. The clouds were a bit too static for the background that I wanted for this design, so I swirled the ends into the clouds. Yep, that looks much better. Let's repeat this a few more times to finish the sky backdrop, which also means more of these color bubbles that I'm now thinking that I should have done less of. Here I'm outlining Haku's bellies first with gray, which I wish I had made lighter, and I thought that I did, but it darkened more than I thought it would when the color dried. And by the time I noticed how dark it was, I had already gotten to his upper body, and decided to just roll with it, even though the more I look at it now, the more it makes me feel as if I should have just painted over with white to lighten the gray. Anyways, by sectioning out the stomach like this, it makes this look a little bit more realistic and scale-like. Now, here I'm outlining the rest of Haku's body. I'll also be leaving these empty spots so that when I get to his mane, it won't be on top of the body in a way that'll stick out, and instead be more on the same layer. I wanted the white to have more of a fur-like texture, so I used my scribe to push the white into little hills over the gray belly to indicate that. When I want to show that there's an arm or a leg in one flood that leads into another, I make sure not to go over the dividing lines that I laid down before. Haku's mane is done with the same piping technique that I use with leaves when I don't want to use a metal piping tip, which is squeezing down at one point, then pull up as you let go. And I'm starting from the back end so that the front mane lays on top and goes in the direction I want. I use the same technique for the rest of the empty space that I left behind. Before I can finish Haku, I want to start Chihiro, so by the time that I get to his face, I can place her hands there by the time that dries. So as this part of her leg dries, I'm flooding her face too, and I think I made Chihiro's skin tone just a shade too dark for my liking. Maybe this was the icing that I should have painted over along with the underbelly, but I didn't, so I've learned to live with it, and I've come around to how it looks now. I'm flooding the underpants here first, so when I do the next section of the pants, both the lower and the upper parts will be long dry. Plus, I love how flowy this back bow looks. have to make sure the icing doesn't ruin the silhouette I'm following with her red uniform, so you can see all the different sections I set up before. I'm making sure to leave little tufts of fur on the green mane to show the fluff on the face. For Chihiro's hair, I'm starting with the middle section so that her bangs will be piped over these hairlines and you can't see where I piped it. Because Haku is in more a traditional style than Western dragons, he has these flowing whiskers on his face that trail throughout the rest of his design. Once I'm done with Chihiro's bangs, all I have left is the windswept ponytail, because this pose is from the movie when they're both falling through the sky at the climax, which always filled me with happiness when I watched Spirited Away. And as their eyes are the only thing left with the design, this recording is now done. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.